A very happy Friday morning to everyone out there. We've made it officially to the end of the work week. Landon here with you to bring you your latest weather forecast from Weather or Not, courtesy of On Target. Got a few wispy clouds out there streaming around, creating an immaculate sunrise across portions of the region. It's going to be much of the same today, folks, as we work throughout this Friday on into the weekend. We got some heat and some humidity that's building in here, and that's going to be hanging around. We're still going to have the sporadic hit-and-miss showers, maybe a stray storm or two develop, but we're going to be holding off on that uptick in rain chances until we roll into the early start of the new work week. Let's get a look across the region. We'll kick things off overlooking Chris McGinnis country. Down in Russellville, WRUS Sky Cam showing a beautiful view there with some cotton candy skies back there on the horizon. Some of the cloud tops refracting, reflecting that sunlight coming up over the horizon, creating a beautiful start to our Friday. We do have dense fog in some locations, although it is appearing like the sky is on fire. Overlooking the Morgantown Sky Cam, we do have some dense fog out there in several locations that have been reported and sent in to us. Please be aware of that before you head out on your morning commute. Temperatures and dew points hanging out around the same vicinity as they have been all week at this time of the day. We're located right around the mid and upper 60s. Those are only going to be creeping upwards as we work throughout today. Going to be placing highs right around the lower 90s with dew points, unfortunately, creeping back up to around the lower 70s. We're going to be looking at heat indices beginning to flex this afternoon. They're going to continue to flex throughout the weekend, and then with any luck, maybe we'll get a little bit of relief, not in cooler temperatures and lower humidity, but with some rain and storm chances as we enter next week. All right, here's a look at the latest surface map. We give you the full breakdown here, what it's looking like. We have got this cold front barring way off across the northern plains, and that is what's going to be taking its sweet time, making its way near our vicinity. It's not going to be arriving here, folks, until we get into the early and middle part of next week, and that's what we're going to be keeping our eyes on in regards to more prominent rain and storm chances here across the region. Let's jump over here and let's talk about the heat indices first and foremost, all right? Here we are working throughout today. We get into this afternoon. Look at those readings. They're showcasing right around the low and mid 90s, folks. Some of us are going to be stretching between the mid and upper 90s, maybe a few of us even hitting the 100-degree mark as we progress all the way through the weekend. This is valid for the peak heating time of this afternoon. We lose that overnight for obvious reasons, and then we get right back into our Saturday. It's more of the same song and dance as we roll into the Sunday time frame as well. With so much surface heating that's going on out there, folks, instability is going to be ripe. We don't have many more parameters that are available that's going to promote a triggering mechanism to get any widespread showers and storms that are ongoing, but we will have just enough oomph in the atmosphere to fire off yet again these little sporadic air mass showers and storms. And again, folks, it's the storm roulette. This is a model. It is not exactly correct, okay? But it's giving you the idea of what the atmosphere could fire off given the ingredients that we will have available. Much of the same as what we've saw throughout much of the week. These sporadic isolated storms that do develop will be very efficient rain producers. Here a couple of days ago, right here at the Weather or Not compound, it rained a little more than 30 minutes, but it was an absolute frog-strangling deluge. We got darn near a quarter of an inch in about 30 to 45 minutes, so just be aware of that. Here we are working into the Saturday time frame. It's the rinse and repeat forecast, folks. We got these little air mass, little reflectivity blips that are appearing here. We roll into the Sunday time frame. It looks like we will be drier with an upper level ridge taking over and building in here. We're looking at the hotter and more humid conditions arriving here late Saturday on into the Sunday time frame as well. We do have a little bit of relief in sight. That is the good news, but unfortunately, it's not going to be in terms of a drastic change in our air mass, all right? Here we are rolling through the early days of the new work week. You can see the cold front staying locked up here from the Midwest back over the Central Plains. You can see all this reflectivity from all the moisture pulling right along and ahead of that frontal boundary. Here we are rolling into Tuesday afternoon, and this is whenever we're going to see the rain and storm chances be on the uptick. This is how the surface map is going to appear by Tuesday right around lunchtime. High pressure parked over the Appalachians is going to continue to shuffle in that southerly flow out of the deep south in the Gulf. Going to continue to have that rainforest-like atmosphere, providing the opportunity at some widespread showers and storms at times. And unfortunately, though, that cold front looks to hang up right along the Ohio River as we roll into our Wednesday and Thursday. And it's going to begin to meander and wobble back, no pun intended, back to the north there, not quite make it all the way through. Not exactly what we want to see, but a little bit of rain bringing some relief. We'll take all that we can get. Here we are going into Tuesday afternoon and evening. Here we are going into Wednesday. You can see the more widespread showers and storms coming through here. Some of these could become strong, but shear remains weak. It looks like some of this will be rather disorganized, but obviously we'll keep close eyes on it with it being 4 to 5 days out. Get into Wednesday afternoon and evening, more of the same. We get into our Thursday, and then we begin to dry out as we roll into next weekend. Our old friend high pressure sets up back across the spine of the Appalachians, bringing the southerly flow in here, folks. We're going to have a mid and upper level ridge building back in. Unfortunately, more heat and humidity looks to be on the docket after we get this little period of rain chances in here as we roll through a good chunk of next week. Now for the good news on the storm front, we remain with just a generalized thunderstorm risk across the entire region. We do not have any threat of severe weather, but again, folks, any air mass storm that gets going, efficient rain producers, some gusty winds and frequent lightning can be expected. Tropical Storm Dexter's been taken off the table. We still got a 60% probability of this tropical wave developing into a tropical cyclone, but that's going to be well off of the East Coast. Currently, no short-term effects on the U.S. mainland. Obviously, with us rolling into peak hurricane season, we'll be keeping eyes on this, but right now, it is no worries to be had. Total rainfall amounts over the course of the next week. We've been talking about this over the past few days. Whenever the cold front's beginning to arrive, we are seeing models come into better agreement with better rain chances. Right now, we've got anywhere from roughly a ½ inch to 1.5 inches of total rainfall across the entire region. We'll continue to watch this closely as we work throughout the weekend and refine that as necessary as we get closer to those rain chances finally arriving. Full breakdown of your next 6-day weather forecast. We have got loads of sunshine to take in, along with heat and humidity today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Just a sporadic pop-up, isolated shower or storm chance. Heat indices approaching 100 degrees every afternoon, folks, so please be aware if you're spending extended periods in the great outdoors. We roll into the early days of the new work week. You can see isolated pop-up storm chances on Monday, then becoming more scattered and more likely Tuesday into Wednesday with the arrival of the cold front out of the north and west. Friends, it's going to wrap up your Friday morning weather or night forecast presented by our friends at On Target. You all take care of yourselves and each other. Have a fantastic